Cool.
It didn't want to work the other day. I had to force quit Zoom so I could leave the conversation.
It's always giving me troubles too.
I don't. You would think after years in the pandemic, everybody using it, they'd fix it.
No, that would make it too easy.
See, I work for Amazon, and they have a lot of broken in the facility that I work at.
Hmm.
I'm like, they could just fix it, but I'm like, nah, that'd be too easy.
Yeah, I would imagine they're not caring too much about that shit over over at Amazon.
And the funny thing is, we're the best building in like the region, and they don't want to
Uh,
fix the stuff. I'm like, well, I guess that's
sounds
okay.
sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, welcome everybody to Mullins over music. I have a special guest here with me today. I'll let him introduce himself to you guys, although I know who he
What's
is.
good, everybody? What's good, everybody? I'm Chandler. I'm a rapper mostly.
A fire rapper.
There we go.
There
That's
you
what I
go.
like to hear.
See, I always do my musical homework before I have a guest on, and I'd been listening
Hmm.
to you for a while, but I went through every song.
Mm.
Yeah, I got to go through that whole discography, man.
What do you think?
I love it, man. Last verses.
Not not disappointing.
No, absolutely not.
Good.
The new
Glad to hear
freestyle
that.
was good too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. That was kind of a surprise release. I wasn't sure what was happening with that, but yeah, it's first of five weeks in a row. Releases for 5 weeks in a row, starting last Friday. So 4 more weeks ago.
There we go, man. And you have a show coming up on Friday too, don't you?
Yep, big last show of the year, but first show of the winter tour. So wanted to get in a hometown show before I go out of town. Um, it's not really technically a hometown show. It's just where I went to college, so there's a lot of roots there. Um, but yeah, getting that out of the way. Out of the way sounds derogatory. Not getting it out of the way. I'm super stoked and excited for it. It's gonna be a great night.
If I wasn't working that day, I'd make my way down. Uh, since
Oh, that'd be
it's
fire.
beautiful. It's 4 hours away.
What part of North Carolina is Charlotte?
About an hour out of Charlotte, near
Okay,
Rockingham.
cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I drive an hour to get to work in the mornings.
Whew, hell on earth.
It's not the longest, man, I've ever driven one way. 3 hours
That's
was
a that,
when I lived in
good God.
Seattle.
Good Lord, dude. That sounds like a feat, man.
It 4 hours of sleep a night, man, and I made it
That's
work.
a lot.
I only lived there for a year though, so I clearly didn't like it.
Yeah. That sounds about how long I would make it probably.
Yeah, I was working for the Salvation Army as a property manager,
Hmm.
but I couldn't do that 3 hours one way. Plus, it's like $1,600 for a broom closet there.
Yeah, no, nope.
But thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. I got some great questions for you. I got some funny
Cool.
questions because we got to start off the podcast with funny questions.
I like that.
Let me pull them up here. My buddy, I asked him to submit me a bunch of funny questions to see what kind of crazy shit he'll come up with. Uh,
Hmm.
this one's the first one.
Okay.
Is Santa Claus creepy or just super nice with no boundaries?
creepy or super nice with no boundaries. Uh, I mean, no, I think he's well intentioned for sure. I think it's like, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I definitely think well intentioned. It's like no boundaries. I don't even, yeah, I'm gonna call it well intentioned. I mean, I can agree no boundaries, but I don't know how you could be Santa Claus and have boundary. I mean, I feel like he probably does have boundaries, right? Like he does have boundaries. He's not like,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't ever see anybody, right? That's kind of like the whole point. So like really like you don't ever know that he's even there. So I guess like the boundaries don't all matter that much. Seems like the general consensus that everybody's pretty okay
With
with with him coming in and shit. It sounds
while
like,
breaking and entering.
yeah. So yeah,
Okay, I like the answer. Next one is, what is better, pizza or tacos?
tacos
Taco.
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I mean, I love both. I like food in general, but I mean, there's some I have some really good pizza, but I mean, I love I love tacos definitely more than pizza.
Okay,
Yeah.
like it. Last funny question, and this is from him. Keep
Hmm.
that in mind. He said, "What is the best anime, and why is it Dragon Ball Z?"
That's I like I like that. You know, it's funny. I don't watch a lot of anime. I used to live with somebody that liked anime a lot, and I have actually my best friends love anime, but I'm not super fluent. So I can like remember watching some Dragon Ball Z as a kid, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll just fold to his opinion since I don't know anything.
I dig it, man. I'll let him know.
He won that one.
He did, and it I don't know what he put no excuses in parentheses on that.
No excuses needed. I don't know anything, so I couldn't make an excuse if I wanted one.
There you go, man. Okay. Let's move on from these funny questions. Although I might throw one in there just to throw you off.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so take me back to a young Chandler. How
Mhm.
did you get into music?
Sure. So I'm originally from the 757 in Virginia, which is like Newport News, Hampton Roads area, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, like real East Coast shit. Uh, that area that I'm from is where a lot of really prominent people in rap in particular, I mean, music in general, but rap in particular, are from. Pharrell, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Pusha T, and Clips. I mean, they're all from that general area. Uh, so, I mean, I think I found that very inspiring from a young age, being from that area code and seeing people reach great heights like that. Uh, I also, you know, because I grew up in that area, there was a lot of opportunity for young artists to thrive. There was a lot of programs in the schools, like, I mean, random stuff that I didn't find in other places. Like, I mean, as a kid, I could get on like local access television and they would have, um, you know, essentially like broadcasted talent shows and things like that. And so yeah, I mean, just from a young age, I happened to meet friends that were musically inclined and in you know all kinds of different stuff in theater and choir. They played in bands. They did like that's just like the kind of people I ran with. So when you mix that with also the area and the history of the area that we were from, uh, and the ability to let these things foster because of all the opportunities that that area gave, um, it kind of just tumbled into like you know by the time I was in middle school, that was just all I was, this is all I was doing. Like, and I had my hands in a little bit of everything. I was playing in bands, I was rapping, I was doing theater, I was doing like, just doing everything. And then started, taking it a little bit more seriously as I got older and, started getting behind the camera more and, actually being in the studio, going to ciphers, playing actual live shows, linking with like, other artists that were some of them like significantly like twice my age and older. Um, so yeah, it was, I mean, I definitely had a crash course, but it's not something that happened overnight. Like I think, TikTok has led a lot of my fans that haven't looked further into me to believe like that I just kind of figured out that I could do this one day. It's been a very, very long time, my majority of my life.
Okay. And speaking of TikTok, you helped me transition very nicely into your TikTok success. I mean,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about that because that's how I found you was through TikTok.
Mhm.
And then I worked my way through your music,
Yeah,
now we're here.
yeah, yeah. When TikTok started happening for me specifically, it was on kind of the back end of what I would call like the entry, the prime entry time into the platform. Like every platform has one where everybody is getting on it, but everybody isn't on it yet. So um, I got in like under the wire. I feel like in when the window of you know virality was just starting to get more difficult, and the platform was really starting to get saturated towards the end of 2020, and because everybody, it was the beginning of 2020 when it just flooded everybody. COVID, everybody got on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I wasn't focusing. I have always done three things. I've always worked in marketing. I've always worked in theater. I've always worked in music, and I've always primarily focused on one more than the other because I feel like every time I tried to work on each one equally, um, I couldn't get very far in any of them. So I always felt like I had to prioritize one and then the others would come along with it. Um, so I wasn't primarily focusing um, on music when I initially got on TikTok. I was really focusing on um, theater and acting and trying to be in the movies. So I was making like really like trying to be funny on TikTok. I got on in August of 2020 and had my first viral moment that had nothing to do with music in December, and that was my first viral video. And then I had the idea to start, you know, um, putting music out under my own name, the name that people knew me by, my on TikTok, my government name Chandler, and start weaving the music in underneath the comedy. So I would make funny videos, and then I would low in the background have my music playing, and that kind of worked, but not all that much. And I just kept toying with different ideas of how to meld the two together because I was getting motion and I was gaining all these followers from being funny, and I was like, how do I transition them into listeners of my music? And at first, it meant making people laugh from duets. Duets became really popular. I feel like in 2021 in particular, and yeah, it just, I mean, I could go on and on. It's such a long journey, but yeah, it was late 2021, about 10 months after that initial viral moment, that I was actually able to transition people over from, you know, seeing me as a funny person as into someone that makes music and happens to be funny, which is what I always wanted. I wanted to be viewed as like an actual, uh, not that people, not that like you can't be an actual musician and be funny, but a lot of the times, like, people forget that like it's not easier to be funny.
Yeah.
Like it's still hard to be funny. It's like it's not. It still takes work to be funny. And if your music is funny, that doesn't mean that your music is any less, like it doesn't go through the same process, you know?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was the initial journey to getting to starting to build where I'm at now.
Well, I remember the first major TikTok I saw was the duet for the beat that ended up being Hot Pocket.
That was the moment. That is the moment I'm referring to, yes.
Okay. That which is still my favorite song to listen to.
Nice. I love it.
I was like, okay, we got cheese in my jeans. That's a hot pocket. I was immediately cracking up. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, it seemed to resonate with people. I would have never thought in a million years, but it. I'd say me and my best friends joke all the time. We say like, "Damn, if I knew all I had to say was cheese in my jeans as a hot pocket, I would have said it a long time ago." Because I spent a lot of time trying to think of clever things to say for that to be the thing that resonated with people.
Fair enough. Um, what kind of hot pocket is your favorite hot pocket?
I like classic, honestly. I've never really, I don't think I've ever had a hot pocket that I liked more than just like a classic hot pocket. I also think that unfortunately, hot pocket does kind of have, um, it does kind of have like a similar effect to Taco Bell, where like they taste different, but at the end of the day, they all kind of taste the same. Like they've all kind of got this same general generic flavor, and then there's like a pop of whatever kind of hot pocket it is. Just like at Taco Bell, or like when you get like cheap ramen packets, and one's beef and one's chicken, and one it's like they all do tend to have a fairly similar like overhanging
Yeah,
taste, and then like a hint of whatever the actual flavor is supposed to be, you know?
yeah, man. I mean, especially with the ramen, it's like salt, salt, salt. Oh, there's some chicken or pork or beef in
Yeah,
there
and
somewhere.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, ramen is one of my favorite things. I'm talking specifically about those the cheap packs that you buy, like 12 for $2, that I eat often. But
I
it
think I've
does
got
have that
packs over
similar
there.
effect. Yeah, yeah. You gotta keep them on deck. I like to like spice it up and stuff. We make it our own and put stuff in. It's a little hot sauce, some boiled eggs, and all that.
Oh, you making it fancy over there. Okay.
That's how we like to do it over here. We got to show it's class.
I used to do what's called a poor man's chicken parm. So
Oh yeah.
I would take spaghetti and I'd make the spaghetti and then
Uh-huh.
I'd grab the sauce from the can and then I'd take some
Hmm.
chicken tenders that I threw inside the toaster oven and throw it on top.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very adjacent. Yeah,
Gotta make it, what they call it? Trashy classy.
you got you got to work with what you got. Make the most out of life.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Hot Pocket song, do,
Hmm.
how much do you like Red Robins?
I It's so funny. I have been to Red Robin a handful of times, and I don't know what I don't know why I said that. I mean, it makes sense. I know
Yeah,
why
of
I said
course.
it. But why Red Robin was the thing that I think it's because it rhymed. I
Yeah.
was like, what is something involving beef that rhymes? And I was like, well, Red Robin is a burger place. I'll just say that. But it's so funny. I had so like not just. I mean, Hot Pocket was obviously the main one, but as far as brands or places go, so many people reaching out with Hot Topic and Red Robin questions, and I was like, I don't know that I've ever bought anything from a Hot Topic, and I also don't. I probably can count on one hand how many times I've been to a Red Robin.
I love it, man. And it does rhyme really well. So I can
Yeah,
see why he did it.
yeah, that was just fun.
So how do you go about writing a verse?
Mm. Um, I mean, it depends. A lot of the times, it is, you know, something. Something usually comes to me. I'm not like a person that like sits down as like I want to write about this. I do typically write like literally every day, not like full verses. I'll like write a line that I thought of. And but yeah, it's usually like, I hear a line in my head, somebody says something and I'm like, "Oh, that's a bar." Somebody does something and I'm like, "Oh, that's really funny." And then I write, but it's not like I'm like writing about that. It's like I just kind of go. And then it gets structured into a song after the fact. I don't ever like I'm never really like starting with a song, like it's like uh every once in a while I'd say it happens most often with Stafford Beats, shout out. When Stafford sends me stuff, I would say the most likely that I am to sit down and be like, I got to write to this right now. A lot of the times with beats, I'm like, you know, going into the vault and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this thing I wrote down a while ago. That feels like it evokes the vibe of this thing I wrote down a couple months ago that I've been waiting to use, and I'll go back in the vault.
Okay. I dig it, man.
Mm. That's how it usually goes.
I'm gonna try that because I usually start with the music. I play guitar, so I usually
Hmm.
start with the music when I go writing something. But I'm gonna try writing lyrics first. See how far that takes me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on the kind of music you make, I mean, it's like, no, there's not one thing that works for anybody. And I don't do the same thing every time. That's just what I do most often.
Okay. So I saw on your Spotify that you played drums.
Uh,
That was really cool. First off, I was not that I'm surprised. You look like somebody who plays drums. And theater, of course. Can you talk about more of your acting? Because I was looking
hmm
at your IMDb page.
hmm Yeah, I did not do a lot of screen acting at all. I actually did do a fair amount of screen acting, but nothing that would make it on the IMDb other than a short film I was in one time that was with some popular people. But I yeah, I mean I did it. I mean, basically as long as I've been doing music, uh and it's helped a lot, especially transitioning into, you know, I hate the word content, but like transitioning into what people would call like a content creator. Um, it's the acting chops have helped quite a bit. But yeah, I was really fortunate with acting, and I did a lot of work. I never I after, especially like when COVID happened and you couldn't be in person anymore. That was when I really started wanting to be in TV and film for a second, and I spent, you know 2 years with an agency that was primarily, I was telling to primarily focus on TV and film auditions. But really, I mean, I always wanted to be on Broadway when I was a kid, and that's what I moved to New York. to do when I moved from Virginia to New York. I always wanted to be on Broadway. Um, and Yeah, I mean, I did it all throughout. I started I started in the fourth grade, and did it all in public school. I did it at church. I did it in the community, and then when I moved to Richmond for college, I did it. Of course, I went to school for it, and then I started working professionally in the community in Richmond, which has a pretty thriving theater scene and like a equity house here, um, and then in 2018, I moved to New York. I was lucky enough to move and immediately sign to an agency and sign to a management company. And I did a lot of work when I initially got there and landed a pretty good deal right before COVID that led me to an opportunity with my first off Broadway musical. It was like the premiere of a musical. It would be my first big job in New York. And then COVID happened and fucked it all up. uh, which sucks. But that was when I started thinking about making solo music, so that you know, in a way, it led me to where I'm at now, which is much more fruitful than anything I've ever done with acting. So, and the acting has helped a lot. So
you you,
yeah,
you
that's what
carry
I'm
yourself a certain way that evokes the acting and theater that background you have, and I dig it.
at. Thanks, I appreciate that.
If you could be on a any Broadway production, what would it be?
Um, I mean, when I was a kid, I loved the producers. My dream was always to play. This was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My dream was always to play Max Bialystock, which is the lead in the producers that Nathan Lane originated on Broadway, who is what is still like in terms of acting, probably my biggest inspiration. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate to play some of the roles that I always wanted to play when I was at Virginia Commonwealth University, at the Raymond Hodges Theater that they have there. This is a very, very cool space. I always wanted to be in Spam a lot too, and I got the opportunity to do that, the Monty Python musical, when I was in college. So yeah, I got the opportunity to do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, but that was the dream when I was a kid. I always wanted to be in that musical, but I wanted to be in it on Broadway. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, I can't wait till I'm 45 and they revive that. That was what I was always thinking.
have
Yeah.
have they revived it yet? I think we're still waiting on it, right?
They have not revived it yet, so maybe I'll still get my chance.
There you go. So, what is your favorite song that you've done so far?
Um, People always ask this, and it's so hard because I feel like I make so much music so often. Um, I mean, honestly, that the music that I am sitting on, like I said, I have for the next. We just put the freestyle from On the Radar out on Friday, and then we have 4 weeks straight of some of my own music, and then also features. But the solo music that I am sitting on that is coming out next year is certainly my favorite in terms of music that has come out. Uh, I mean, I love Figure It Out. Figure It Out changed my life, but News is News is probably my favorite. That's probably the most fun I've had making a song, making the content around the song. We got to do like a really cool live music video for that song, and that song's produced by my best friend in the world. And even though it's like a fun kind of silly song, it was a blast to play on tour. Like I got to when I went on tour out in the Midwest, and like I got to preview it before it was out, and so That song's probably my favorite one I've made that's out.
Okay. Do you have is it the same for performing live, or do you have a different song that you like to perform live?
No, News is my favorite song to perform live for sure because it has a call and response element that's, you know, that just always gets the crowd hype. When Lunch Special is with me, who's one of my best friends, that we have a couple songs together and we have some stuff in the vault too. When Lunch Special is with me, I love performing Paste. Paste also gets the people going fucking crazy because Lunch Special is a electric live performer and he really brings it out of me when I'm on stage too. So
That's really cool. Okay.
yeah.
Next question is, if you could open a show for any artist, who would it be?
Mm. So funny when people ask these kinds of questions because it's like there's the people that like I'm like I'd love to see that concert, and then there's the people that I actually think I'd be a good opener for,
Yeah.
you know, because like my initial thought is like, man, it would be so cool to open for like the people I love to listen to, like Smino or like Griselda or something. I think it would. I think I could like kill it in like a small venue with somebody like not a small venue, but like in a tight venue with somebody like 99 Neighbors or um I mean I think it would be very cool to I mean there's a lot of people. It would be cool to open for somebody like Earl. That would be cool. I would love to like do more of my boom bap stuff and open up for somebody like Earl with a more like, you know, his shows are much more like people are like really listening. It'd be cool to do like some of my more like, you know, uh intimate like boom bappy stuff and open for somebody like that. That'd be cool.
Okay. I dig it, man.
Yeah.
So, when you're on the road, what do you typically like when you're going from venue to venue? What are you typically listening to? Are you listening to music? Are you listening to podcasts? What are you listening to?
No, we listen to music. We talk a lot too. I mean, um I have a play. I mean, I have, of course, like a main playlist, like everybody does. And it's like a collab playlist that's between me and my best friend, and you know, it's curated a little bit. And I mean, I listen to that primarily, like if I'm driving and stuff. But like the last longer tour that I was on back in the late summer, going into the fall with when I was doing the co-headline with Billy Marquiafava. Um, we were just like passing the aux back and forth. Billy listens to a lot of metal and stuff like that. But I mean, it's primarily rap music, maybe a podcast here and there if I'm in my own headphones. But I like listening to music primarily in the car, especially longer drives and stuff.
Okay. See, I always wonder about that because it's such a wide variety of stuff people listen to, and when they're in a vehicle, that's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes it's completely different from when they listen to it at their house or something. So
Mm-hmm.
it's cool to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you do when you're not doing music? No, I mean, you do music quite often, but well,
Mm-hmm.
what does Chandler do on his free time?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have. I'm actually. I talk about this all the time. I'm very envious of people that like video games, people that like sports, people that love to read books. I'm very envious of all of that because I think it would be so nice to like have a free moment and not have anything planned and be like, I have something that I love to do and I can do it right now. Like sports are always on. People talking about sports are always on. Video games, this whole world that I just can't seem to. break, I just can't seem to want to break into. And then, um, yeah. So in my free time, I mean, I'm usually listening to, if I'm not working on music, I'm listening to music. If I'm by myself, I am typically with friends and family, though. I mean, when people ask me how I spend my free time, I do like try very hard to make as much time as I can for free time with friends and family. I watch a lot of movies, but not by myself. I watch movies with my partner most of the time. Um, but yeah, I don't do any like, like playing games and stuff. Like I wish I did, because it would be nice to just be able to turn that part of my brain on at any time. But yeah, I mean, if I'm not working on music or consuming music, I'm like desperately hoping that my friends or family are available to hang out.
I dig it, man. Keeping it with your tight knit community.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Hey, and movies, they're always a great thing to watch with people. I don't like watching movies by myself. I can't I can't do it.
Yeah, I find myself getting bored. I just That's the nice thing about music though, is that you can just always that I mean that is you can't just always work on it. Like you can always make it. So yeah.
I'll just be walking down the I'll be at work just bobbing my head thinking, "Oh, it'd be a great idea if I did this with this." And
Hmm.
you, you can always work on music. I that as opposed to like writing, I actually have to have
Sure.
I can't write a book while I'm at work. Too busy throwing stuff on the belt for the robot to work on or waiting for the robot to come back on from not working.
Yeah, yeah,
Because those things break down maybe 20 times a day
yeah.
per machine, and we got 16 machines, so
That sounds awful.
it is. And the items that go in the machine, if it's not in there just correctly, um, it'll break down, and then you have to call a tech. And they're
Mm-mm.
halfway across the building now, so they take their sweet time getting up there. I'm like, yeah, you guys could hurry up a bit. I'm getting quite bored over here. Okay. So, when it comes to recording, what's the recording process like?
um, so I am I mean, a lot of the music that you hear is recorded from home. I have a home setup that I utilize. So I was for a long time recording all of my own music. Everything that the majority of what is out is recorded from home by me and then passed off to a mix and master engineer. Um, Now, all of the music that is coming out of my own, not necessarily, I'll still do features from home sometime, but the music that is like backlogged in the last couple of months, I have been going to the studio because we're trying to not only update branding and try to, you know, get a little bit more of a solid, like cohesive image going on that spreads outside of TikTok. Uh, in the music, we're trying to elevate it as well, quality wise. So yeah, I have a team and am signed to. a company that kind of acts as both on the managerial side and as a kind of a boutique label. And we go to studio now and we work at a place where we've been going is a place in here in Richmond called Good People's that a lot of they have a killer team there. So, I mean, some of the engineer I work with is gold certified engineer. So it's yeah, they're doing great work. So that's why I say, the music that is coming out next year is the music that I'm probably most excited about because just quality wise, it is extremely elevated from where I was at.
Okay, I dig it, man. What program were you using to record on your computer?
GarageBand.
Hey, you know what? GarageBand is an amazing tool. So,
Dude, people always make fun of me for that, and I'm like, get fucked. I'm like, what? I'm like, why would I go spend? You know what I mean? It's like, why would I go spend money I don't have when it would be different if I was mixing and mastering and doing all of that stuff, which I mean, you can do in GarageBand too. Like that would be different. If I was doing all of that, that would be different. But as somebody who is not an engineer and passing off to a team that I am extremely comfortable with and have been working with for well over a year, even before I was going to the studio, why would I blow unnecessary money to update my DAW when I'm just recording vocals? Why would I do that?
that's that's very fair, man. And I GarageBand is so much more versatile than people give it credit for. Like they always think it's just a phone app, but no, it's so much more than that.
And I've got one of my producers, the guy that produced Half Decent. I mean, this dude like does like the bulk of his producing like on iMachine, which is literally a phone app, and then puts it into uh puts it like takes the stems and puts them into Pro Tools and cleans it up from there. People Stuff is so much more accessible than people lead you to believe. And I I mean, one of my best friends, Colin, is like makes a living off of running a YouTube page where he literally teaches people how to record, mix, and master their music all on GarageBand. He teaches, sells courses, teaches. I was like, what is that creature?
My cat. Oh, I could pull
But
up
yeah,
the veil so you can see him. Oh, and then he ran off.
he's gone.
Said bye. That's really cool. What's the channel again? I'm gonna go look it up.
Oh, what is it called? Hold on. I think I can. Yeah, I can. Hold on. I'm subscribed to it. I can't remember what the exact name is. Let's see.
Like if I had had this tool when I was younger, I would have.
The Band Guide.
Okay, I'm definitely
Colin
gonna look.
Cross is his name. The Band Guide, and yeah, super super good, high quality videos. Very smart, articulate man. Was the first engineer I ever worked with um, in an actual studio when I was still literally a kid, like when I was like 17 years old. So, um, yeah, he's been a lot of the music that you've heard, he engineered as well. He's been very integral in he still does stuff for me here and there, designs light shows and, you know, different things like that. So,
Always dig light shows. They're so interesting. And the
gotta have lights when you can
exact.
afford them. Gotta have lights when you can afford them.
I mean, it's almost like you're missing out on an important part of the show if you can't use lights.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got new music coming out, uh,
Mhm.
which I'm excited for. And you got shows, which we've already kind of discussed, but do you have any new shows that you haven't put out yet that you can
Well,
share?
we're going on this winter tour, and there's still dates within it to be announced. But some of the areas that we go to where the shows are more popular, we've already released the tickets in like an initial run. So usually on tours, we do at least one for Virginia dates. We always do DC. We always do New York. So all of those tickets are on sale already. Richmond on Friday night, and then we're doing Norfolk, Virginia, and Brooklyn next month. And then towards the end of the winter, we're doing DC. And even though that's a couple months out, because it's a popular place for us to go and the lineup is crazy, we already released those tickets. But there's more on the way. I have a really cool surprise birthday show that hasn't been announced yet. I was born on February 29th, and next year is actually a leap year. So I have a very cool surprise birthday show planned that hasn't been announced yet. And yeah, like I said, I mean, there's really random places that I have already locked in for next year that people don't know about. I think people will be interested to see that I'm going to some of these places, but hey, they want me out there, and you know the deal is right, so it is what it is.
Hey, man. Well, I'm glad to hear that your birthday is in February. I'm a February baby too.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
February 22nd.
Oh, it's a week before. That's damn. It's pretty close.
Yeah. I always
Cool.
I turned 22 on 2/22/22. So,
Oh my God, you're young, man.
I know. Everybody says, "You're what? You're young." I think
You
it's
look a little. I mean, you don't. You look younger than me, but you look older than 22 or what? Are you 23 now?
yeah, I'm 23 now. 24
Yeah,
now.
you look. I would have thought you were like probably 25.
That's what everybody gets for me. And they always say that my wife looks younger than me when she's the older one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My people always think that yeah, people always think that I am older than I am also. So I get it.
I think it's the facial hair. It gets everybody.
Oh, it is 100%. Yes,
If I didn't have it, they'd think I was a lot younger.
for sure.
But this ain't going nowhere.
I feel the same way.
So we're reaching toward the end of the episode here, but I always like to do this big thing. It's called Dream Festival. We're gonna
Uh-huh.
make a festival of your dreams, and the only
Uh-huh.
rule is you're playing.
I'm playing. Okay.
I'll walk you through the different parts of it. I stole this from another podcast, and now it's mine. So
Okay.
we're gonna start with the food because we got to talk about food. What's the
Yeah.
catering gonna be like at your festival?
Dude, I love a good sandwich. We gotta have some sandwiches for sure. Um, like all different kinds of sandwiches. I love some there's nothing like when I go to a bodega, I get my sandwiches cold. So I don't like to me they get people are always like, well then isn't it gonna get soggy? I'm like, you got that so backwards. Like if it's gonna be soggy, it's not gonna be as soggy as it's gonna be if you get it hot when all that oil comes spilling out and all that shit. So yeah, dude, give me some fucking ciabattas, some fucking Black Forest ham. Let me get in there.
Yeah, I dig it, man. Cold cut sandwiches, hot sandwiches. We got the whole nine yards for your festival.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is, where is it going to be?
Oh, I would love. I mean, Pharrell's already kind of got it wrapped up, but I would. I mean, I would love to put on a festival in the 757. Maybe specifically. like in Newport News and not Virginia Beach like Pharrell does. But that would be cool just because I don't know. A lot of people aren't like that with their hometowns, but I guess because there's such a like history within the genre there that I feel a little bit more like enamored with it all. So yeah,
Okay.
probably there.
I dig it, man. So the next question is, what's your accommodations going to be like? Are you going to be camping? Are you going to be in a hotel? Are you going to be in an Airbnb? You going to be in a castle? What's it going to be like?
Oh, you mean my own accommodations?
Where you're going to sleep for the festival week?
I mean, I love a camping situation. I'm not gonna lie. Like as long as it's like not fucked, you know. I mean, it's so often it's terrible, but uh, um, I love camping. I go camping multiple times a year, like just to camp. So with the homies, and so yeah, definitely camping. I
Okay.
mean, you can make it luxury camping if it was depending on the price. I mean, they got some yurts out there, you know, depending on how many people we got with us. I might slide for a yurt, but
Well, this is your dream festival. It don't cost you a thing, so go for a
yeah,
yurt.
give me a yurt.
Sounds good. Your festival's already sounding pretty fun, and it's not
Yeah,
too far from here, so I,
yeah, there you
I would definitely be there. So the next question is, who's going to perform at your festival?
go. Well, I'm trying to think about the people that I loved seeing. The last time I went to like a big festival, dude, Yachty was so good. Gotta have Yachty there. Yachty, one of the best live shows I've ever seen. Uh, Wiz Khalifa definitely had a lot of influence on me when I was younger. It was so cool. Wiz is also, I've seen Wiz. Wiz is an incredible live performer. That would be cool. A lot of like, you know, like I would love to have like the whole run of like Smino, Seba, No Name. That'd be so fire. I'd love to have some like fun people that just be like crazy to see. Like that Mexican OT would be so cool. Um, fuck, there's so many people. Also, some like give it like some indie. Let me get some like Boy Genius and some Samia in there, and like fuck it. That would be cool.
Your festival
Yeah,
sounds like a stacked lineup.
yeah. It's gonna be a pricey ticket for sure.
We're sitting at an easy 500 for the.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, but it would be worth it. It's one of those worth it ones.
Yeah.
Not like Blue Ridge. That was an $800 for me and my wife, and we ended up having to do a charge back. So
Jeez, that's rough.
yeah, it was bad. But your festival, it's a dream festival, so it's gonna be good. No fake tornadoes coming your way.
Nice.
So when are you going to be playing in the typical time slot? Where are you sitting at? Are you gonna play in the morning, midday, afternoon, evening? Where are you sitting at?
It'd be cool to play midday for sure. Like because I don't. I want to be like. I want to play when everybody's there, but everybody's not tired yet.
Okay.
Like I remember, like at that same festival I saw Yachty at, like all of like the most hype parts of the shit was like in the middle of the day. Like Ski Mask was like in the middle of the day, and everybody was there, but nobody was tired. It was fucking crazy. Same thing with like ASAP Ferg. Like these were crazy sets, and it's just the sun is just out. It's just the middle of the fucking day, and there's like fucking 50,000 people, and you're like, this is ridiculous.
Aw.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're gonna be playing midday. final question for your dream festival. What's it gonna be called? We have to have a name for it.
Oh fuck. What's it gonna be called? Well, so the underground I like to call it I like to call it a creative a creative agency right now. I might change it to a record label or a collective in the future, but I have a project that I'm working on called Bloody Skylight, and it's not that really hasn't been announced yet, but there's a couple public pages. It's like something that I'm like starting starting to work on, but I don't know something. I don't know exactly what it would be called, but it would because that's what I'm working on. I'm going to try to build off of that. It's going to have something to do with Bloody Skylight.
Okay.
Maybe Bloody Good Time. We would put it in Britain and call it Bloody Good Time. It'd be crazy.
I like it, man. Bloody good time. And it will be a bloody good time with the festival lineup.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. It has been a delight to chat with you and get into the mind of Chandler.
Absolutely. I
You have any
appreciate you
plugs or
having me.
shout outs?
Say that again. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Do you have any plugs or shout outs you want to throw here at the end?
Uh, yeah, I mean, if anybody's in any of the places that I'm coming on the winter tour, pop out, see me, say hi. Free meet and greets with every ticket for all the artists. Pre-sale tickets are only $10 for the majority of the dates because we like to do it that way. So, and yeah, new music coming out every week for weeks now, starting Friday with Bozo with Billy Marchiafava. So.
That sounds great, man. Thank you so much again for coming on the podcast. It's been fun. What song by you do you want to have as the outro song?
Let's make it Purple Devil emoji.
Okay. I was actually listening to that before you came on, so thank you so much.
They want to see from a demon.
Yeah, no
Everything
problem.
I do a beast. From the booth to the top of the sea. Purple devil emoji. Yeah, that's me. I wrote some lyrics inside of a co-worker space and it fucked up the bandwidth. Walked to bodega and got me some chicken on rice and a whole other sandwich. Sent me some Z and then I went on live and it still didn't fuck up my brand. Later that night the after was spectacular. I ain't even hit on my cannabis. Every beat that I get on is meaty. Instrumentals turn me to Hannibal. I think the reason I rap so good is that I put liquor in my Danimals. As a teen, oh my god, fuck, I was almost a weatherman. That's a lesson, stick to the plan. Damn, that motherfucker panned out. Purple devil emoji. Purple devil emoji. Type of shit I've been on. It's the type of shit they want to see from a demon. Everything I do a beast. From the booth to the top of the sea. Purple devil emoji. Yeah, that's me. Chandler a ham in the booth, turn a rapper to deli meat. Open this quick. I don't need diamonds on each of my wrists to convince the consumer I'm lit. I'm a big dog, triple XT, I'm a goddamn pit. These aren't lyrics, motherfucker. Just spit. I don't feel good, but I'm great. Oh, hey. 9 times out of 8, I fuck up the beat and I turn it to beat. No need to debate. Over here, nothing is bleak. I got the family with me. Hitting my shimmy on every street. Purple devil emoji. Purple devil emoji. Type of shit I've been on. It's the type of shit they want to see from a demon. Everything I do a beast. From the booth to the top of the sea. Purple devil emoji. Yeah, that's me.